Okay, so for those of you that have been trying to get an apartment rental, a house rental, I need you guys to listen up. I got good news for you guys. Occupancy is very low in a lot of areas right now, you guys. And the reason why that could be good news to those of you that are looking for somewhere to live is because the owners to these properties, the leasing agents for these properties, and the property management to these properties, they want to be able to fill their units before the end of the year. Now, I get hundreds of messages sometimes from people just needing an apartment, a place to live. They need documents. They need different things to get into these properties. I want you guys to pay attention because right now, with the occupancy being this low, a lot of places are a lot more flexible with getting people in. A lot of times they just want to, number one, make sure that you're not going to run off on the rent, leave them stuck with their property all damaged. And that number two, you have the income to be able to afford the rent. So listen up. And we just gonna call it exactly what it is. A lot of y'all took advantage of that eviction ban that they had during the pandemic, and it left your credit in a bad situation because what you don't realize is you still owe these properties that money, and therefore they can place it on your credit file. Although they couldn't do an eviction, they can still place the outstanding balance on your credit report. So if that's your situation and credit is your holdup, that's another story. My suggestion would be to look into getting a CPN for move-in purposes. I am doing a beginner's class on that this Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to join, go ahead and click that link in my bio. Everybody does leave with a correctly created file the proper way. So, like I said, click that link. But outside of that, you guys, if your holdup is you just don't have enough credit, or maybe your credit score is not at the minimum that property is requiring, you don't have documents, maybe you lack rental history, whatever the case may be, now would be the time for you to go ahead and get your stuff together because they are a lot more lenient right now with the occupancy being so low and them needing to fill these units. Click the link in my bio. We can kind of discuss and go over what it is you may specifically need. Now, like I said, if credit is your holdup, your score is damaged, you owe properties, you got an eviction, I would look into other options. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars with somebody to do an apartment package for you when you can actually get all of this stuff done and gathered yourself for a little bit of a fraction of that cost of what people are charging. Take that beginner's class. It is very informative and it's you get what you need. Let me just say that. Now, in addition to that, let me just say this. If and when you get that second chance to get on your feet and get your place, do right by it. Don't put yourself in a financial bond. Sit back and look at your finances and what you know that you can afford for your rent. So that way you don't find yourself back in this cycle. If you know that you can afford up to $2,000 a month in rent, then find you a place within that budget. Don't go for the place that is $3,000 thinking you just want to rush and get into it. Make sure that it is something that you can afford so that way you don't mess it up. As y'all know, it's not easy finding a place. So like I said, if and when you get that second chance, do right by it.